Welcome back to our house. We are a family of 11 and we are going to do another what we ate for dinner video because you guys like these. So tonight's dinner is a butternut squash soup. I actually threw a potato in it too, so I guess it's a butternut squash potato soup made with bone broth. And to make it extra creamy, I threw in a block of cream cheese. Benjamin is having just some squash that I pulled out before I blended it into a puree. We also have this garlic sausage that we got from Costco, and it's amazing. So people are actually going to put that right in their soup, and then Elsie and Samuel baked bread. So we get to enjoy some of their delicious sourdough bread. Let me see you guys. Stand next to each other. Look happy. Good job, Elsie and Samuel. Yeah, they're excited, having fun, learning how to make bread. So that's what's for dinner.
Delicious. Let's eat.
I'm going to show you what's for dinner tonight. Samuel was inspired. He made bread again. Can you believe it? I could get used to this. Tonight he made his bread into these little biscuits, which we cut in half, and we are going to use them to do some biscuits and gravy. So this is the leftover roast from the other day that I just made a white sauce with some of the gravy drippings that were left over. Mix that all together and we'll put that on top of his little whole wheat biscuits. Actually, I think it's spelt flour that he fresh ground the flour and then made those. Awesome. I have a big salad, homemade ranch dressing, and some lemonade because we're out of kombucha. That's always our favorite drink, but I know, I've got to make some more. So for now, it's lemonade, so that's what's for dinner tonight. I just put tonight's dinner in the Instant Pot, and so I thought I would just check in with you now. Tonight we are going to have chips, refried beans, lettuce, tomatoes, grated cheese, just all the works. I'm going to make just kind of an easy, fun dinner. We have fresh batch of kombucha that just came out, so I'm sure everybody will be drinking kombucha with that. But I made my refried beans in the Instant Pot. I actually have not cooked beans in the Instant Pot much at all, so this is pretty new for me. I just did, I followed the recipe that said to use 2.5 cups of water to a cup of beans. And there's a lot of liquid left over. I maybe could have done a little bit less than that, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. And when I puree these, I'm sure I can use some of that liquid to get it the right consistency. I sauteed a chopped up onion right here in the Instant Pot before I threw anything else in, and then I added some seasonings that I had on hand, just some paprika, some garlic powder, salt, pepper. I just threw that in there and then added the water, mixed that all in, and then put in my beans after that, and I cooked them on high pressure for 55 minutes, and they look like a great consistency. So I'm going to drain these and puree them and then see what happens from there. Actually, I also made a big batch of hard-boiled eggs, which I still have in the cold water because I did a Zoom meeting and never took them out. But our chickens are laying 2 dozen eggs a day right now. That is crazy and awesome. So I'm going to give the kids some hard-boiled eggs as a snack. Probably tomorrow I'll just stick these in the refrigerator. And I did these in the Instant Pot as well. And I do the 5-5-5 methods. 5 minutes on high pressure, then you let it sit and naturally release for 5 minutes, and then you put it in ice water for 5 minutes, or an hour if you get interrupted by a Zoom meeting. Okay, I just layered my refried beans down here, which I forgot to show you, but can you see under there? That's what they look like. They turned out great. It didn't take much of the liquid, but I made them in the food processor, and then I had some ground beef I put on top. Didn't have salsa. I ran out of salsa, so I just seasoned some diced tomatoes and crushed them up and put that on the top. And now we're gonna sprinkle some cheese.
Mom, I need sourdough.
Okay.
Leo, show me the next. Yeah.
You want to help? We're gonna just sprinkle this with cheese. We're gonna put it in the oven till it's melted. And then I also have I have chopped lettuce to put on top of it too.
Once again, once.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Do you guys want to do a
okay, that looks good.
Yeah.
This is the finished product, and I think we'll probably eat 2 trays worth.
Yum yum. Under there.
You ready to eat?
Hey, it's Silas.
I I made quite a feast for dinner. We had our very first steaks from the cow that we butchered recently, and so they were T-bones. There were just 4 of them for our family of 10 eaters, and so rather than thought 2 packages of steaks, I just wanted to make the fun stretch even longer. So I just seared those 4 and then sliced them, and it was actually plenty of meat for everybody because of all of my sides. So I had some just buttery rice. I roasted in the oven Brussels sprouts, garlic cloves, and cubed peeled potatoes. Roasted them with a little bit of let's see, I had avocado oil. They were so delicious. It really turned out good. Then I had some butternut squash soup. I make a very fast and easy butternut soup. I even already had the butternut cooked and pureed and stored in the freezer. So it was really easy. I just sauteed some onions in some butter and then put in that butternut squash puree. Normally I would peel and cube the butternut and cook it until it was soft. And then I added a little bit of honey and some cream when it was done cooking, because you don't want to cook that cream too long. So I put that in at the end. And then I just used my immersion blender to just blend the whole thing to a puree. It's really sweet, delicious soup. I added a little salt and some nutmeg. The whole meal was so delicious. So that's what was for dinner. Dinner tonight is mom cop-out. I am sticking frozen pizzas in the oven. I had to run errands. I got home literally at dinner time. I knew this was in my freezer and I decided to use it. So I'm cooking 4 of these. They're the Cauliflower Crusts roasted veggie pizzas from Costco. And I am actually putting some meat on the top to make it a little heartier for our family. That's it, folks. I'll set out my homemade kombucha and that will be dinner tonight. Sometimes moms take a night off. Benjamin, do you think you're a guitar player? Benjamin is enjoying eating foods, and so for nights like tonight, when I can't serve him what's on the dinner table, I have just different things stuck in the freezer, like vegetables from soups and things that I mashed up. I stick in the freezer in ice cube trays so that I can pull a few out and have some extra food for this guy. I also have a bunch of avocados. You like avocados, don't you? Yes. Da, 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 da. Da. He thinks he's a little acrobat there, don't you, buddy? You ready to get down on the floor and play with some real baby toys? Tonight's dinner is compliments of these 2 young men.
This is an experiment.
This is an experiment.
Not my
Leo is hooked on butternut squash soup. We've eaten quite a lot.
It's great.
It's delicious. So what was in our soup tonight?
Mix.
We don't measure anything. Sorry, guys. We just kind of flavor by...
But it's really good. We have some nutmeg. We have some raw honey. Salt. A little bit of maple syrup. Nothing else. And butternut. And cream. And onions.
Yeah, fresh cream. Oh yeah, that's right. We started by sauteing onions. I forgot that.
That's what we always do.
So
adds a little flavor.
Good. Okay, so then Silas
It's good with mom's bread.
Silas, what did you decide?
To make sloppy joes.
To make sloppy joes, which we haven't had, I don't even know when. It's been a long time. So we found a recipe on Pinterest and it's happening. I had baked some sourdough bread. I have another loaf in the oven. And I found some of our homemade butter in the freezer, so I'm thawing that out. So there you go.
Mom.
That is the hodgepodge dinner tonight.
What do you mean?
Okay, he just taste tested and
It's pretty good.
it's good. Okay, so what did the recipe call for? Let's see here. Whoops. Let's see. Tell the people. We used our ground beef. And what does it call for?
A pound of ground beef, an 1/8 cup of brown sugar, and an 1/8 cup of mustard, and a 1/2 cup of ketchup. And
A 1/2 cup of ketchup. Okay, so
That's for 6 people.
there you go.
yeah, and you can
multiply
times
it
3 and
I can't
times
see
2.
that. Tonight's dinner I threw together really quickly because we have been gone all day and came home hungry. So I had some leftover rice in the refrigerator that I turned into like a fried rice. I used some oil to get the pan really hot, and I scrambled eggs. We have a lot of eggs right now. and then mix that with the rice and some of the coconut aminos and salt, garlic powder. Mix that all together. And then I had frozen vegetables in my freezer that I just lightly steamed. Wow, it is windy outside. I just lightly steamed them, then added some of my avocado oil to stir fry them. I also found a little bit of shrimp left in the freezer, so we chopped it up to make it go farther. Threw it all together, and that is what's for dinner tonight.